Iceberg! Dead ahead! I hired a starboard captain and was going to port around it, but it was too close. She hit, sir. You know, I don't know whether to compare this car to an iceberg or a bloody Jonah. And we all know what happened to Jonah, don't we? Anyway, this is a 2007 Ford Mondeo 2-litre diesel. The long and the short of it is, it broke down on the motorway. Just cut out, dead. Anyway, I'll try not to drag this on for too long, but the car ended up going to a different garage, not here. And at this other unnamed garage, they'd removed the fuel tank, the high pressure fuel pump, the EGR valve. Jesus freaking Christ, the list went on. So as you can imagine, it took me frigging hell and all time to sort out everything that had been touched before I could even begin looking as to why the car broke down in the first place. Anyway, the reason I wanted to share this particular problem, because it was kind of a odd problem, but you know, it was kind of interesting. One high pressure fuel pump, and by the way, this was not the problem. Anyhow, using this snap-on diagnostic tool, I am able to measure the fuel pressure being delivered from the high pressure fuel pump into the fuel rail on this vehicle. When I'm cranking the engine over on this Mondeo, I am getting about 4,000 kilopascals. But before I even frigging go any further, let's get one thing straight. There are two measurements of pressure. One is kilopascals and another one is bar. To define kilopascals and bar would be like saying men are from Earth and women are from Mars. My diagnostic tool is reading about 4,000 kilopascals, which when roughly translated into bar would be 40 bar. In order for the injectors to fire on this car, I would need at least 25,000 kilopascals, which would be around about 250 bar. So the long and the short of the matter is, we've got a low fuel pressure problem. But rather than me rabbit on all day long about what I've checked, this, that and the other, I'll try and get to the point. After initially swapping the high pressure fuel pump for a good second-hand unit which we had, which made no bloody difference, there's an extension piece that goes onto this drive on the high pressure pump, which then slots into your camshaft. This is the end of the camshaft where the high pressure fuel pump drive would dog into these slots, but you see one of them's broken. It was still being turned perfectly fine by this camshaft. The piece that's broken off this camshaft was not in the engine at all, so I can only assume this had been broken a long time before we even got the car here. I did question the garage who had been messing around with this car before me about the piece of broken camshaft, and they say they had not seen it. So watch this. You see this end piece turning on the camshaft. So this pressed on drive at the end of the camshaft has come loose. It should be a pressed on fit onto this shaft, but it's obviously come loose, and it was turning the high pressure fuel pump to a certain extent to give a small amount of fuel pressure. I don't know if anyone else has come across this problem, but I thought it was a bit of an odd one. And this Mondeo has done 210,000 miles. But that was it then. Stick a new exhaust camshaft in the engine and away it went. Good as new. Anyway, you never know. If you get a similar problem to this, just make sure the high pressure fuel pump drive on the back of the camshaft is not spinning and is actually fixed properly to the camshaft as it should be. I can just wave bye-bye to the Jonah now. Bye-bye, Jonah. Bye. See ya. You know, I feel so much better for sharing that. A problem shared is a problem halved. That's it then. I'm out of here. See ya.